All right, fellas, we're just gonna jump right into this one here. Man, I tell you what, this was a chore for me. Let me first start off by saying this is my entry for the Mustang 60th anniversary group build that Mike is putting on over at Scale Speedworks, and I'll put a link to his channel in the description below. But man, I tell you what, I started this. Well, I bought this kit at Hobby Lobby, I think it was, early about a year ago, and I had the great idea of making this a pro street, and I had the chassis from the AMT 66 Nova Pro Street, so I've been using that chassis for mock-ups on other builds and things, but I decided to go ahead and use it since it was laying around. But when I started on it, I lost interest real quick, don't know why, but I put it at the back of the bench and it sat there for months. And then when I seen that group build come up for the 60th anniversary of the Mustang that Mike was putting on over there at Scale Speedworks, I thought, man, now's the time to drag this thing out and finish it. So, God, daggone guys, I tell you what. Now, I painted this with the Tamiya's TS51 Racing Blue. Yeah, I shot it with a rattle can because I like that color, and they didn't have those colors in my normal acrylic paint that they put out that I normally use, so I just went ahead and went with that. And of course I primed it with the Tamiya's Fine Surface Primer White. But boy, I tell you what, that paint just did not lay down very good, and I had a heck of a time. I had to end up wet sanding the paint twice to try and get it flattened out, and then when I cleared it, I wet sanded it a couple times again on that clear. But guys, I got through it, and I think it turned out okay. I'm not gonna, now let me tell you something else too. The glass for the sides of the car here, they were way too small, just fell right through, so I couldn't use those. So I decided to go with the louvers, and they were a little too small as well. But as I was gluing those on, I had the body in my left hand, and I was putting one in place, and I dropped the car, and I tried to catch it. When I did, I just slammed it into the bench even worse, and it knocked the engine out, and I put scratches up on top of the roof. You can see it, and it hit the glue bottle, and you can see there's a glue spot. And I've got I show the good, bad, and the ugly on this channel, fellas. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a big glue spot down here on the rocker panel. I don't think the light's gonna let it catch that, but believe me, it's down there. But man, I tell you what, I was just so irritated, and I was so glad to get done with this build. That's the old Iceman engine in there. That's that, here's what the engine is. That's that Ford Boss 429 blown engine. Killer looking engine. Fit down in there pretty good. The second time after I knocked it out from dropping it, and I went ahead and wired it. Now guys, the interior is I think that was a red oxide primer I had up in my cabinet, and then I shot it with some Rust-Oleum matte clear. And you can see back here, let me get my pointer here. I used the interior tub from the 66 Mustang on top of that 66 Nova Pro Street chassis, and I had to cut the bottom of the door panels off because they were too tall. And then I just put a piece back here from one side to the other to connect the rear of those door panels. So that's how I finished it off. Don't know if you can see much down inside of there, but that's what I did to kind of finish that off inside. All the bright work is bare metal foil. I removed all the badging. There's nothing on here that says Mustang, except for the horse is still up front on the grill. And I hit that with the Molotov pen, chrome Molotov pen. But I removed all the badging. It doesn't say Mustang anywhere. Yeah, maybe on the gas lid it might, I guess. And like I said, you can see those big old meats in the back. This is Pro Street. I'm gonna tip her over here and show you guys the bottom side of this. Nothing fancy. It ended up okay, I guess. Boy, I tell you, this thing just, I don't know what it was about this build. I just could not get into this build. I don't know. It didn't turn out too bad, but I just, man, I don't know what it was. Just wasn't feeling it on this one, fellas. And, you know, when I dropped that sucker and the engine popped out, when I glued the engine back in, I must not have got it back in the exact spot because it was a close fit. So the old hood over here, it won't fit properly on there anymore. So this is the way I'll display it with the hood on a stand. That kind of ticked me off too, but you know, I guess it is what it is. And don't think she come out too awful bad though, fellas. I kind of got the black theme going on with the louvers and the black engine and the blacked out grill up front with the chrome trim around. That chrome trim around that grill is with the Molotov pen. I used a big old 4mm tip for that. The wheels and tires, I believe those came out of the AMT 67 Chevelle Pro Street. I'm pretty sure that's where those come from. But fellas, I think that's about it. Like I said, this is my entry into Mike's 60th anniversary of the Mustang over there at Scale Speedworks. And like I said, I'll put a link to his channel in the description down below. Well, fellas, I hope you like this one. I'll tell you what, it was a lot of headaches. I'm glad it's done. And just another one to go up on the shelf. Now I want to show you something here because I didn't like the tack that came in the kit. So if you look at this tack that's in here, it looks pretty nice. And well, you won't be able to see in there, but I've got it whited out with the black needle and everything. That is actually the rear view, or the mirror that goes over here on the side. That's what that is, and you can't even tell it. I just didn't care for the tack that came in the kit. It just didn't look right. It was just a little round piece, and it just didn't look right. So I changed her up. All right, fellas. I think that's going to be about it. All right, I'm done.